Welcome back, students. Now we will discuss the absorption of food. So ultimately we have studied that after the digestion, the carbohydrates, they got converted into glucose or galactose molecules, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Now all this final digestion took place in small intestine. Now their absorption also occurs in small intestine, and for that you have to study one more structure. We have to talk about the structure of the small intestine. So again, referring to this diagram, the small intestine, the jejunum and the ileum part of the small intestine, they contain finger-like projections in their towards their inner membrane, and we call them villi or microvilli. Means the intestine, it contains many folds like this, folds towards the inner side. These folds are known as finger-like projections, or folds you can say. These are called villi. Singular is called villus. The actual purpose of these villi is to increase the surface area. If there will be so many folds, obviously there will be lot of surface area here. This has increased the surface area, and then absorption can be made easier. Okay, so we have to discuss the structure of villus. So if we just elaborate or this one villus, and we see in your book they have shown it like this. This is the diagram of a villus which is present in the small intestine, and this can also be asked for the exams. So if we see one villus, then what we see is, it is means if we just make it and to show it, to understand its structure, we will make it very large, but actually these are microscopic. So it has a single layer of cells. This single layer of cells is known as epithelial cells. So they are so thin that they are made up of only one layer of cells. So here you can draw all through the single layer of cells with nucleus inside. So these are the epithelial cells. And inside this is the lumen, its cavity, where we see that there is, suppose here is coming from the blood vessel, and this is the one branch of the artery, let's say. So if this is the artery, and on this side we have the vein, and in the artery and the vein there will be capillary network. So network of capillaries. Okay, so arteries and veins, and a network of capillaries. And along with that network of capillaries, we also have one lymphatic duct. So let us say this is one lymphatic vessel which runs all through this, and this is known as lacteal. So this is lacteal. What is lacteal? It is a lymph vessel. Lymph vessel. And this is artery and veins, and these are the connecting to them are the capillaries. Okay. So now what happens is that this glucose and amino acids, the end product of carbohydrates, that is glucose, and end product of proteins, that is amino acids, the molecules of these are quite small, and they get absorbed. They are absorbed by these villi, and they get inside the bloodstream. Means they are absorbed by the blood vessels, and glucose and amino acids both are absorbed by the blood vessels of these villi. Whereas the fatty acids and glycerol molecules, fatty acid and glycerol, they are slightly thicker molecules. They cannot enter the bloodstream. They enter the lymphatic system, the lymph vessels. They are absorbed by lymph vessels, and that is why they give some whitish appearance, because these fatty acids are somewhat whitish in color. So you have to remember that glucose and amino acids are absorbed by the blood, and fatty acids and glycerols get absorbed into the lacteals, which are actually the lymph vessels. So they will get drained into the lymphatic system, whereas glucose and amino acids will get drained into your bloodstream. Here they have mentioned inner lining of ileum is made of great number of tiny finger-like projections called villi. Singular is villus. They increase enormously the inner surface area of the intestine, means nearly 8 times of the outer body surface. So this, what is the purpose of this villi? They increase the surface area, for the absorption of the food, and this facilitates means helps in absorption of digested food. Between the villi are small holes through which the intestinal juice secreted by the glandular cells is poured. They mean to say that if we draw this villi, so when these are the villi, let's say, so here there are the cells and lymphatic vessels and bloodstream, and here the cells of this epithelial cells of this villi, they will pour the secretions. We call it intestinal juices, which we have already discussed. And then each villus is covered by a single cell thick epithelium. This one, single cell thick epithelium, and inside the villus contained an artery, a vein interconnecting blood capillaries, and a lymph vessel called lacteal. So you have to remember this diagram also. This can also come to draw for explaining. Now the small intestine, as I told you, serves both the functions. So here the digestion also takes place. After digestion, final digestion, the food will be absorbed. So as I told you that absorption of food, amino acids and simple sugars like glucose, fructose, galactose, they have relatively small sized molecules which are absorbed through the thin epithelium of villi, and they reach the blood capillaries, and finally they enter the blood circulation. Okay, whereas the fatty acids and glycerol, they are absorbed into the lymph vessels or lacteals, and then they enter the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is present all through your body, and ultimately then they also drain their fluid in the bloodstream. So this was all about the absorption. Now let us talk about little bit about large intestine. So after this small intestine, this part leads to large intestine, and the first part of the large intestine is called the cecum. This is known as cecum, and you can say that cecum is present in between the junction of the small intestine and the large intestine. And then this whole part of the large intestine is known as colon. This is near about 1.2 to 1.3 meters long. This is called the ascending limb of colon. This is below the stomach. It is called transverse limb of colon, and this is known as descending limb of colon. These are the three parts of the first part is the cecum, then colon. These are the three regions of colon: ascending limb, transverse limb, and descending limb. And ultimately the descending limb opens into a tube-like structure. We call it rectum. Rectum acts as a storage where the undigested food, we call it feces, they are stored. Opening of the rectum is called anus, and it is guarded by circular muscles, and these muscles can open or shut the anus for the defecation process. Here from the cecum, tube-like structure is appearing or protruding. We call it appendix. And you might be knowing that appendix is a vestigial organ in human beings, means it has no function, because actually its function is to digest cellulose. It is functional in herbivores but not in human beings. So here we can just go through the large intestine. Large intestine is 1.5 meters long and divided into three parts. As I told you, cecum, colon and rectum. Cecum is a blind pouch situated at the junction of, so you have to remember this because this question is asked about the location of cecum. So you have to write junction of small and large intestine. And from its blind end projects a narrow worm-shaped tube, which I told you is known as vermiform appendix. And it is a functionless or vestigial organ. Then the colon, which is much broader than ileum and is little more 1 meter long. It passes up to the abdomen. So on the right, ascending colon, crosses left below the stomach, transverse colon, and down it is called descending colon. And the third part is rectum. Rectum is the last part. It is about 15 centimeter long. It opens into the anus. Anus has circular muscles or sphincters which keep it closed except when passing bowels or for the defecation. If we talk about the functions of large intestine is mainly, it does not has any enzymes. It does not secrete any enzyme. The only function is to absorption of water and some vitamins also. And mostly water is absorbed here, and the undigested food is just passed upwards from the ascending colon, then transverse and descending colon, and all through the way vitamins and water is absorbed, and much water is absorbed. The contents become semi-solid, we call it feces, which pass into the rectum and they are expelled at intervals. So this method, process of expulsion of undigested remains of food is called defecation, right? So this was all about the digestive system. Now assimilation of food we will discuss in next week. Thank you children. God bless you.